Hey viewers, what's going on? It's Scott, and I bring you a new war on the World War II American hero, Audie Murphy. He's known for many things. One of them, the Medal of Honor, which, as you know, is probably one of the most prestigious things for, well, first man in the military. He was in the Army, by the way, and he had a very stressful childhood, very stressful aftershock, military time, and very stressful time after the military. And, so his whole life was completely stressful. But that doesn't mean it's not interesting. He's gone through so much. If you want to know how much, I'll start talking about it right now. Okay. When he was, as a kid, his dad left him, and when he was age 16, his mom died. He was born on, he was born on June 20th, 1925, and he was one of 12 kids. So he was the only one going through that. But then, in fifth grade, he left school to join, to pick cotton to get money for his family, and he also would start using a hunting rifle to get food. So then he to also feed his family. So he sacrificed a lot, and when his mom died, this is his quote. "She died when I was 16. She had the most beautiful hair I've ever seen. It reached almost to the floor. She really talked, and always seemed to be searching for something. What it was, I don't know. We didn't discuss her feelings. When she passed away, she took something big with her. It seems I've been searching for it ever since." Audie Murphy. Now, if that doesn't touch your heart, then you've got a serious problem, because that's very deep. And if that doesn't touch your heart, you should probably get it checked out by a doctor and a psychiatrist, because that's one of the deepest things I've ever said on this show. Well, on YouTube. But Audie Murphy, then he went to the Mediterranean Theater, aka Italy. Oh yeah, by the way, his older sister helped helped falsify the birth date on his birth certificate, so then he could join the military. And it was because after Pearl Harbor, he just wanted to join the military a lot, and the Marines and the Navy turned him down because he wasn't big enough or heavy enough. But he managed to join the army, and after he joined the army, he went on a scouting patrol, and he killed 2 Italian officers, and he then joined his company. He joined his company, and they had to protect a hillside machine gun emplacement, and that went successful. And then then he went on a scouting party along the Volturno River. He and 2 other soldiers were then attacked by a German machine gun, and that killed one of the 3 Americans, and the other man killed the 5 German soldiers with a hand grenade and the machine guns. So that's justice. They later on, he was attacked. Well, they were attacked by 7 German soldiers, killing 3 and taking 4 prisoners. So those are pretty good numbers, and they were sent to prison. But then released after the war. And by the way, this does not happen all on the same day. Different days every time, different weeks, you know. He's promoted to sergeant in December. In January, he's promoted to staff sergeant. He then caught malaria, and when he got out of the hospital, he and his platoon killed a crew of a passing German tank, and if it was a Panzer tank, that's really hard to do. If it wasn't a Panzer tank, it's still really hard to do because Tiger tanks are really hard to take down. They're like they were probably the most impossible job to do in the whole entire military. Other than shooting through the scope. Another sniper, but that happened in Vietnam. I'll talk about that in another World War. Anyways, well, they did that after taking shelter in an abandoned farmhouse. He caught malaria again, and he went on more scouting patrols, and he caught a lot more German prisoners before he caught malaria, and then he went to Germany. Sorry, he was there for part of the Allied invasion of southern France. And he earned a distinguished service class for that. And that's very, very good. And he and some other men went through his platoon. Went through this vineyard, and some German soldiers attacked them. And he grabbed a machine gun, and he killed 2 German soldiers, wounded 1. And then 2 German soldiers exited the house about 100 yards away, and Murphy's best friend, So he went over to help, bring him over because they were surrendering, and they then shot him and killed his best friend. Murphy then, he went up alone to the house, and he killed 2 German soldiers. Well, he wounded 2, killed 6, and took 11 prisoners. So if that's not justice and vengeance, I don't know what is. 'Cause that's good. And after that he received a Purple Heart for his heel wound he got from a mortar shell that landed and blasted some metal into his heel, which he got a Purple Heart for. And he then crawled alone, carrying a radio, directed his men for an hour while Germans fired directly at him. They then took a hill. He and 15 Germans had been killed, 35 wounded, and he received a bronze oak leaf cluster for his Silver Star. And he then got a battlefield commission to 2nd lieutenant on the 14th of October, which made him the platoon leader, which is very, very high rank. And his company was then attacked by a German sniper group, where it shot him in the hip. One of them shot them in the hip, and he killed 2 of them. He injured 2 of them, and he shot a 3rd one in between the eye. When he was shot, he caught gangrene, and he had to get that part cut off, and he lost some of his hip muscle, but he regained that later. And this is what he's famous for. Okay, this is all the money. At the Como Pocket in the Vosges Mountains, Germans, they were there since November 1944, and in January 1945, he rejoined his platoon, and he went directly to the Como area, and they met with a strong German resistance, and they wounded both of his legs, and he received a bronze oak leaf cluster. He gets quite a few of those, and a Purple Heart again. Well, in World War II, a lot of people got the Purple Heart, just so you know. That was probably the most common medal to earn, probably because there were so many injuries, and Germans then they then got a direct hit on this M10 tank destroyer, which is a 50 cal machine gun meant to destroy tanks.
Yeah, a little bit.
And back then, tanks weren't made as well as they are today, but they were still an impossible task to take down a Tiger tank, which he took down. Well, he might have, well, it was a Panzer. But he then went directly to where he went then, with himself at his post. He left his post and went to the M10 tank destroyer, which was on fire. If that's not dangerous, then it only gets more dangerous. He started firing 50 cal machine guns at the Germans, killing a squad through a ditch towards him. He then stood an hour shooting at the whole German company. A company. Not just a platoon, a company. That's like 200 soldiers in a whole entire company. Holding off 200 German soldiers. And the reason why they didn't use that M10 tank destroyer was because they thought that they thought 50 cal bullets were inhumane. So they didn't use it, but he needed that, so he started using it. So yeah, I'm gonna sneeze very soon. And he killed and wounded 50 Germans, and he had both of his legs were injured, and his wounds were treated. And for his actions, he was awarded the Medal of Honor, which was recommended him by a fellow lieutenant, and he received it. And he was promoted to first lieutenant, and he received it by a lieutenant general. A lieutenant general is the third rank of general. The first rank is brigadier, then it is major, which was the rank of my great grandpa, and then it was lieutenant. So receiving it from the president was probably very busy, so he couldn't receive it or was dead. Let's see. Roosevelt died in office, but they got a new one, and yeah, he went through quite a bit. After the war, he had severe post-traumatic stress syndrome, and he had problems sleeping, so he started taking sleeping pills, but he got addicted to those. And to get rid of the addiction, he stayed in a hotel room for a week without them, and he got over it. So, and a lot of alcohol and cigarette commercials, companies wanted him to be in the commercials, but he said no to them because he said they would put a bad image to children. And if that's not a good guy, I don't know what is. But I was talking about this post-traumatic stress again. I was talking about this post-traumatic stress syndrome, and his was so bad he slept with a loaded revolver under his bed and under his pillow. So then he felt safe if anybody came into his house. He once pointed that revolver at his wife, who divorced him, and after divorcing him, he 4 days later married another woman. And after marrying her, in 1971 he died in a plane crash. So very sad day for America. And I'm gonna show some pictures of him. Here's one right now. That's him in his fully decorated gear, and then on the cover of Life magazine and his grave. They'll be remembered. Anyways, if you respect this video, please click the like button. If you didn't, still click the like button, and give a like for Audie Murphy. He was a great man. You don't have to give a like, just honor him, okay?